Okay, this next one here is about the medical examination. So, as we've already seen, you're going to go on to the websites for the embassies where you're going to be processing your fiancé visa, and you're going to find out about where the medical examinations are conducted. There are certain doctors called civil surgeons that are in every city where there's the embassy, and you go there a few days before your interview and take your medical exam. So here's a copy of the actual medical examination report that that doctor is going to fill out for you. So the way normally it happens is that you'll go in there, and if you've been given immunizations, you'll bring your immunization card with you, and they will ask you a bunch of questions, have you fill out a bunch of forms, and go through and prepare this form. So I want to go through this just so that you know. We're going to go really deep into medical exam stuff now, okay? Um, so here it is, medical examination for immigrant or refugee applicant. And this is actually I think it's a DS 2035. Um, so let's start with all your name, your biographic information, passport number, the date of the medical exam, any prior exams you've done. Um, Date exam expires 6 months from examination date. It's going to go right there. The place, panel physician, radiology services, screening site, and lab name. Okay. So the first thing hopefully they do is that they check there's no apparent defect, disease, or disability. Um, these Class A conditions are the conditions that will prevent you from actually coming into the United States. So let's look at these. You have TB, active, infectious. You have syphilis, cancroid, gonorrhea, granuloma, um, lymphorgranuloma, human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, Hansen's disease, which is leprosy, addiction or abuse of specific substance without harmful behavior, any physical or mental disorder, including other substance-related disorder with harmful behavior or history of such behavior likely to occur. And there is an asterisk here um, next to addiction or abuse of specific substance. So we've got amphetamines, cannabis, cocaine, hallucinogens, inhalants, opioids, um, phencyclidins, phencyclidins. Okay, now we know why I went to law school, huh? Sedative, hypnotics, and anxiolytics. The what has happened in the past is that people who've gone in and done a medical exam and have been asked the question, have you ever smoked marijuana, have said yes. And they've been prevented from coming into the United States because they get a check mark right here, addiction or abuse of specific substance without harmful behavior. So even if you say, oh yeah, I just smoked a joint once, I tried it, I didn't like it, I never did it again, they will still probably check this box. So, you know, you've got to be really, really careful because when you disclose that information, you're going to get this box checked more than likely. And then what you'll need to do is you'll need to prepare a waiver. And the waiver of the medical condition is really beyond the scope of this little video we're doing right now. But basically what it says is that you're in rehab, you are taking steps to deal with your addiction, um, and it's very difficult to get those waivers approved. Um, these other problems, Class A conditions, um, you know, you can, when you're requiring a waiver for them, you're going to tell them that you have insurance and you're going to be a course of action. You've got for the treatment of the disease. You've got, support to take care of that. It's a really big deal. So Class A conditions and Class B conditions too. And then the TB active, TB inactive, syphilis sexually transmitted, current pregnancies, Hansen's disease prior treatment. And then here's the situation with any physical or mental disorder, including addiction or abuse of specific substance, but including other substance-related disorder without harmful behavior or history of such behavior unlikely to occur. So then we have the laboratory findings here for syphilis, okay, HIV, immunizations, okay, vaccine history complete, incomplete vaccine history, no waiver requested. Some of the vaccines expire. You only get them when you're young, right? So some of the vaccines are not relevant if you're older. Vaccine history incomplete, requesting waiver, and then a blanket waiver or an individual waiver. And then here's the place where the applicant signs, here's where the panel physician signs, and the date. And then here's a tuberculosis treatment regimen. I'm going to go through this kind of quickly here. Here's your chest x-ray and classification worksheet. So if you have tuberculosis, then you're going to get a chest x-ray done, and they're going to indicate the situation there. Sputum smears there. And let's see. Going. Okay, so here's the vaccination document. Let me minimize this a little bit to get this to fit on our screen. Here we go. So this is what the vaccination document looks like, and you know, it is breakdown. Expand it a little bit. There we go. And so here is the questions that they're asking. Let me get in. Let me zoom this thing out. Okay. So the immunization record here, name and everything, vaccine history transferred from a written record. So this is where they go in with your card, and they're going to copy the card onto here. And then if over here, you'll see maybe not age appropriate, insufficient time interval, contraindicated, not routinely available, not fall season for the flu shot. So this is and then here we go, here's the vaccine. So you have the DT, DTP, DT, AP, TD, polio, measles, mumps, rubella, rotavirus, HIV, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, meningococcal, human papillomavirus, varicella, pneumococcal influenza. Okay. And then here's your medical history sheet. And this is going to be, they'll be asking you these questions here for the medical history. And, you know, they're going to ask you about your general, your cardiology, neurology, and addiction. Here's one: use of drugs other than those required for medical reasons. Addiction or abuse of specific substance. There we go. Ever taken action to end your life? Seizure disorder, right? And then here's one: ever caused serious injury to others, caused major property damage, or had trouble with the law because of medical condition, mental disorder, or influence of alcohol or drugs. And so if you answer yes to some of those, it's going to open the door to a ground of inadmissibility where they say, I'm sorry, you can't come in as a fiancé. And then additional testing needed prior to approving medical clearance. Okay, they might put you in for another round of tests. This is why it's good to go a couple days before your actual interview, because you want to make sure you have time to get all this stuff done. Follow-up needed after arrival. They might make a recommendation around that. Okay, so that is the medical exam. And then the medical exam is going to be given to you in a sealed envelope, and then you're going to be taking, remember, the sealed envelope to the embassy, right? Not opening it and handing it over. They're going to crack this open. They're going to go right to the top and see if there's any problems you have that require a waiver or as a ground of inadmissibility. Now, the other thing I want to say on the medical exam is that when you come into the United States as a fiancé, there's going to be another medical exam you're going to have to do. And this is the 693 report a medical exam to get your green card, your permanent residence. And so it says here, note, if you're applying for adjustment of status as a refugee, asylum dependent, or as a K or V non-immigrant visa holder, okay, we are K. See questions 1 through 4 in section 3. Okay, well, let's just fast forward section 3, and we'll go to questions 1 through 4. Where's our section 3? Here it is. What if I'm a refugee and already had a medical exam overseas? Okay. What if I am a K non-immigrant visa holder and already had a medical exam overseas? Well, they tell us here, if you're admitted as a K-1 fiancé or a K-2 child or K-1 fiancé or as a K-3, you received a medical examination prior to admission, then, look at this, you're not required to have another medical examination as long as your Form I-485, application to register permanent residence or adjust status, is filed within 1 year of your overseas medical examination, and the medical exam did not reveal a Class A medical condition, or if you did have a Class A medical condition, you received a waiver of inadmissibility and have complied with the terms and conditions on the waiver. So, fast forwarding then, when you go to get your green card, they're going to be wanting to look back. So, you're going to want to make sure that you have your records from your from this medical exam that you take for your fiancé visa to use down the road. Okay. Even if a new medical exam is not required, you must still show proof that you complied with the vaccination requirements. If the vaccination record DS3025 was not properly completed and included as part of the original overseas medical examination report, you will have the vaccination report completed by a designated civil surgeon. In this case, you're required to submit the vaccination record on page 1 of Form 693. So there you go. So people do, mess up on the vaccination record here, and so that's what they're saying. They're going to get a whole second level of scrutiny when they look through your medical exam stuff, even when you come in and you do it once as a fiancé visa holder. So that's about it for the medical exam.